This is a quick video to introduce the T-Splines edit mode. The edit mode is a bunch of different features that we have in the T-Splines plugin that are very useful when you're modeling T-Splines, but are not as useful for general Rhino modeling and can sometimes get in the way. So we figured we would make it easy to enable and disable all of these features at the same time, and we call it the T-Splines edit mode. There's several different features. This is a T-Splines box. If I turn on the verts, that is something that you can turn on normally outside of edit mode, but we also have edges and faces. Typically we don't allow those to be turned on because it's difficult just from looking at the object to see whether edges and faces are turned on. However, we've also added a mouse over highlighting, so as I move the mouse over the object, it'll show me which edges or faces will be selected if I were to click. The other thing that we added is we've added this manipulator that lets me modify the things that I've got selected. It works for Rhino objects as well as T-Spline objects. And then there's a couple of user interface elements. So for example, one thing is I have a T-Splines hotkeys that are active when the edit mode is up. We've got this guy here. Let me resize him so you can see a little bit better. This is our T-Splines edit mode docking window. So this controls the manipulator. This sets the pivot, which can be very useful for scaling and rotation. This turns on edges, faces, and vertices. And then that's our drag mode. This enables and disables the T-Splines hotkeys. So you can have the edit mode on with the hotkeys disabled if you prefer not to. And then we've got our HUD options button. So one thing that's interesting to see here is we also have a small selection preview that tells you what type of objects you have selected. If you hover over it, it'll give you a full description. So let me open up the options here. By default, this docking window hides and shows itself automatically when you enable and disable the edit mode. So I'm going to turn that off to show you how it works in a non-standard configuration. So if I dock this guy on the side and then I turn on or off edit mode, we can see that he is staying put and the icon is changing, and most of these controls are disabling. The other thing that happens here when I enable and disable the edit mode is I get a heads-up display icon. This guy will show and hide the docking window by default. If instead of that small heads-up display you'd like the version 2 style full heads-up display, that's an option. And there are also a bunch of different things that you can choose to show or hide depending on how you work with T-Splines. So there's a paint selection, multipliers, soft manipulation. There's also a speed options and current selection volume and a full current selection display text field. So let me turn those guys on just to show what's going on here, and I'll turn back on the miniature heads-up display. We'll see that this is getting pretty squished, so I'll try docking it somewhere else. Okay, and this shows that I've got 26 T-Spline vertices selected. I'll hit my tab hotkey to change to the smooth version, select any of these or the entire object, and it will compute the volume. And that volume will update on the fly as I modify the object. Anyhow, I think that's about it. Thanks for watching.